Snap photos from the pit.
Documented musical stories.
Thrashed in the crowd. And raged from the back.
We are Sound Sisters!
Welcome to another episode of the Sound Sister Podcast. I'm your host, Dreaddoll, and I'm here with my lovely ladies. Say hello, ladies.
Angela Rose Red.
Gabby Chaos. Meow.
In this episode, we're going to be talking to Emilie Plamondon out of Quebec, Canada. Emilie is best known for her radio show, Punk Roquette, singing for 50 Shades of Punk Rock, and Excuse Me Mister. Her love of puns, her amazing record collection she shares on Instagram, and for her podcast called Punk Roquette. You can also catch her live on Facebook every Sunday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. But before we bring her in, let's go around the room. Angela, what's going on with you?
I got my punk rock paintbrushes book today, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I actually have a photo in there from our first punk rock paintbrush excursion as Sound Sisters. That was the first thing we covered together. I just was really excited. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. So I definitely encourage.
Were you really excited?
I was really, really excited. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, damn it, I wish I could go back in time and retake the photo, and just live in the moment again, but I guess that's why we have photos, right? So you can look back and live in the moment again. But no, it was really cool. I was really humbled and excited about it. Glad to have a little sliver of the contribution of the punk rock and paintbrushes. So definitely encourage anybody that has a love for art and all things rad to pick it up, because I think they're still taking orders. But
that's cool. Is it just like a punk rock and paintbrushes yearbook?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it doesn't really have, it's more focused and really in depth of the artist. Cool. So, which I thought was amazing. So really high quality, like just examples of each individual artist and their different pieces and the biography. I didn't get too much time to dive into it before we had to come over here, but the quality is amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. And there was a lot of hard work that went into it. And you can tell that it just really, really reflected the voices of the artist, which was great. So yes, more so of a profile of the artist than of the actual event. So, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, so, that's great.
Yeah, it was really cool. So congratulations to them for sure. And then just continuing to working on, content. Got a lot of things in the works. I'm upping my gear so we can have some different stuff on our site. And today released a article that talks about how I overcame my anxiety photographing the live stream, which it was a big deal for me. I feel that I really, really went to the depths of how my social anxiety has impacted me. And it felt pretty raw putting it out there, but I, had a friend, and also Patrick, one of our loyal listeners, one of our fans. What's up, Patrick? Reached out and he liked it. And then I had another friend that was just like, thank you so much for saying that, because that's how I've been feeling. So if, that in itself, just shit is real. Anyways, what's going on with you, Gab?
Well, I've been working really hard the past, I don't know how long it's been now, to bring you guys the new Sound Sister studio. I just put some of the final touches, but should hopefully be finally 100% done next week. And on our awesome picture wall, there's only one photo that you did not take. So this would be so we have one for the listeners that you will see pictures later on, probably this week. But one wall, it's got all of our photographs that Angela and I have taken, or just like memories. But there's one photo I snuck in here that is not yours.
Wow.
But it's a really good photo.
I love that photo. I love your concert photos. So
and it's a Pink's photo too. So there's your
so much.
There's your
wow.
That means so much. It's pretty amazing to see.
Yeah. But yeah, just been working on giving you bitches the best studio you can. So
that's my bitch. That's my bitch. We love you so much. This is it's beautiful. It looks so great. And well, I'm excited for you too to be able to create.
You said, you're upgrading all your gear. It's a new year, and it was time to upgrade our microphones and even our table. So just been upgrading everything slowly, and hopefully we can bring you that new format in May. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you for all the contribution you've done. It's beautiful. Dude, this Gabby is a DIY queen. I mean, it was great coming over and hanging out with you. And she just owns it. Give her a paintbrush, give her an idea. She's gone. She'll get it done. She'll figure it out.
Yeah. What's up, Boo?
Yeah, it looks good in here.
Thank you.
We just got back from California. That was exciting. So we worked on new songs, new demos, polished out some notes that we received from a certain Bad Cop member who is producing this record. Yeah, I think we've already said it. Like Lynn had sent us some notes or whatever. So yeah, we got through that and it was a good time. It's just nice to like finally get away from home and have a little, I don't want to say like I'm not like stressed about COVID, but just being vaccinated, there is that sigh of relief. Like knowing, I could still get sick or, but it's not going to put me in the hospital. And like,
I'm so excited. I personally, whenever I see pictures of the three of you guys together, it makes me so happy. I get so excited because I'm all, they're together. The trifecta, the other trifecta. Makes me happy.
You get like teary-eyed.
I do. I know because I love the three of you guys. And I know it's hard being a long distance relationship, but you guys make it work. So
we do. It's a lot of work. All right, we're going to jump into the roundtable topic here. On this topic, we're going to get into what it means to be a community over competition. Whether you're in a band, you're an artist, you're another podcast, what does that really look like? And how can you lift each other up during times where you're essentially kind of competing over the same things and putting out content? But, for us, Sound Sister, it's all about community and lifting each other up and pushing each other to do our best. So let's get into it. Angela, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because it can be easy to fall down the rabbit hole of trying to just one up and beat the other person. But we got to remember that together we're a scene, right? We need to have representation of multiple voices. And sometimes I find that whenever you put female in front of something that you do, which is something that we're very proud of, right? We're females in the music industry. That's the essence of our podcast and our platform. But also sometimes it's easily trying to compare yourself to other platforms that are similar and gender specific, more or less. I mean, we don't really think too much how much males like compete to be male podcasts. Like usually that's not necessarily a big thing, or male photographers compete. It's just more or less they're photographers competing. But sometimes, and maybe it isn't even yourself. It's like other people that may put that on you. So it's more or less like realizing where that stems from. But I think that one of the biggest things is knowing where you're at and knowing that having multiple voices makes a community. So we don't have all the answers. We don't have the point of view that is the end all be all. So we need these other platforms so we can all be harmonious and lift each other up and have diversity within our ideas. So I remember when we were photographing and going for different shows back in the AZ Chaos days with Gabby. Gabby said to me one time, she says, you know what? There's enough photo passes for everybody. We're all going to end up doing it. We're all going to shoot it, and it may date back from me just being in photo classes, art classes. A lot of times we would go on excursions together. You would be standing next to like some of these amazing photographers that have like 10 plus years than you. And you're thinking you're going for the same shot. And you're standing next to this person, but guess what? It looks completely different because it's different point of view. So I guess understanding that more and realizing let's be a part of the effects of things as opposed to the cause of it. And, Chelsea Handler said it once really, really well, that just because someone else's light is burning doesn't make yours less brighter. And that's something that I always try to tell myself when I feel myself getting those feels that aren't necessary PMA. So that's what I try to do. Am I perfect? No. Have I had some learning moments? Yes, 110%. But that's the thing. Like we just got to keep growing and being positive and being better than every single day than we were the day before.
I agree. I feel like it's definitely changed in the last 10 years, like just with women and females and in the punk scene. They're a lot more together now, like more of a community. And I love sharing. I'm a technology geek, and so I'm always sharing information with like other podcasts. Like recently I showed Anyways Whatever podcast how to do a trick on the computer, and like it worked for him. Unfortunately, it didn't work for my setup, but he was like very thankful about it, and like we shared tips and tricks. Even screen printing, like Stupid Rad, there should be my competition, but we don't see it that way. We're just I asked him, he's been in that business for I don't know, probably 20 plus years more than I have, and he shares knowledge, or I ask him stuff, and it's just really cool to see like the community just open to everybody. So that's been my take on it. It's just you can talk to anybody and like they won't like try to up you one, or maybe they have, but I haven't seen it. So
yeah.
And
I also think that there's something to be said about, you know, giving back, right? And so that's like a big thing. A lot of like our artists or musicians that we talk to, they're all about, hey, ask me questions. Hey, let me know if you want some tips or pointers, because it's all about them giving back, because someone did that for them too. We're not all born with this knowledge. Like we all figure it out somewhere.
Right. I think, you know, if we want to get into like the business aspect of how we can be community, I've talked about this on the podcast before, is like, you know, I follow all the other different podcasts and try to keep up with their content and what they're doing. And a lot of the times, because of algorithms, their promo posts are not getting seen, especially if it has like a lot of text or whatever. So what I've been doing is like, it's so crazy that you have to like do this, but to get it like pushed up more into the stream, you have to like save it to a collection and heart it and then comment on it. So a lot of the times I'll like comment on their stuff or like it or save it to a collection or share it. And, you know, that's a small thing that I can do to try to help maybe push that kind of stuff to my followers on my social media. Like it's a little platform, but like it's there. But you know, hopefully people will kind of take into consideration what I'm sharing and check it out, you know, because I think it's cool. So maybe they'll think it's cool. The other thing is like, you know, even with podcasting, like asking the other podcasts for their opinions, or Terry helped me figure out how to like pull a video from YouTube, and just kind of like walked me through all the steps. And that's just kind of like the friendship we've built. Like I've never even met her. She's in Canada, but we have a common ground. It's punk rock, it's podcasting. And for whatever fucking reason, like she supports the band and the podcast, and it's fucking cool. Like it's just part of that community aspect to it. And I really respect that kind of, you know, friendship. And
I think it's something to keep growing towards. And I love that. I see that you lead by action, and that's so important, right? I guess maybe that's what we can all do, is just lead with kindness and just follow along and do your thing. I don't know where I was going with that, but
yeah, I think just you know, be there for your sister and not drag them down. Like we're different platforms, but we're all sound sisters. Like we're all like trying to make noise and like bring attention to shit that we find cool. You know what I mean? So be there for your sound sisters. It goes beyond this table of Gabby, Angela, and I. All right, we're gonna take a small break here, and when we come back, we'll be talking to Emilie of Punk Roquette right here on the Sound Sister Podcast.
Pink is just for girls, punk is for the boys. You don't have any kids, aren't you too old? He's that terrorist, your skin looks like one. She's an okay guitarist for a girl. Give me a break, whatever say, stereotypes. Oh no, no, no.
right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, welcome to the Sound Sister podcast, all the way from Canada, Emilie Punk Roquette.
I love when you do that.
It started one episode with Gabby and I. We just meow at each other and purr, I guess, during episodes while Drea's trying to move things along.
Gotta build the excitement.
You know it.
Oh my gosh. So it's so great to talk to you. How are you doing?
Fine. I'm really happy for you to having me. It's great. My English sucks, but I'll try to to make myself understand.
I don't know. You're doing great. Yeah. You're doing great by me. I think you're doing awesome. I catch.
My boyfriend is American, so he only speaks English. So I learned so much. I practiced a lot, so I'm much better than I used to be. But still, sometimes I'm just freezing. I'm like, blah, 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 looking for words. Blah, blah, blah.
I mean, I do that, and I speak fluent English. So. You're in good company. No, I was watching some of your streams. I just absolutely love your energy. I think you just have such a great personal quality with your listeners and your fans. And I'm like, I want to put your energy in a coffee mug for me because it's amazing. But I was curious about that because I've noticed some of your episodes, you do bounce between, French and English too. And so I was curious about what that's like. Like, do you find that your viewers are from all over, or do you have a specific demographic?
I have to tell you first that I've been hosting a radio show here in Quebec City since 2004, so 17 years almost. So I started with only local crowd, like people from Quebec who were listening to me. And then I started to do those Facebook Lives maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And then some people were sharing it. So a lot of people from all around the world just came to check because I was playing some punk rock, and punk rock is so universal. So, and then I was like, oh, I need to speak English now. And some people are from Japan and Spain. So I started to just switch between French because I think most of the crowd is still from Quebec, but we still have a lot of people who speak different language. So I just switch, and it's really fun.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think that's great that you just open up your entire demographic everywhere. So I think that's really interesting. I'm just curious, you said you had a radio show. So did you go to school for that, or is that something you just fell into? How did that happen?
Actually, the radio station I work for is in the university in Quebec City. So it's a local, not communitary. Is it a word?
Community.
It's a small radio station, but I started to do this show when I was studying psychology in university, and I just never stopped. Even after my studies were done, I just kept doing it over and over. So they just kept me.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, but because I used to be a social worker, and it was really hard, and it was just. I was exhausted, so I changed the job. But so at some point, I was thinking maybe I should do a very official radio course and try to make it a career. But then I was like, no, I just love punk rock. I'm not that a fan of radio. I love punk rock, so I want to spread it. So I wouldn't like to work in an official radio station and just. I wanted to keep my own project, so I just started doing something else. And so I didn't choose to have a professional career in radio. It's just my passion, and maybe that's why I'm still doing it.
That's awesome. Well, and a lot of what we try to do is provide advice or at least just experiences from different perspectives and the music industry. So, I mean, you have a great following. You have a lot of followers on social media. Do you have any sort of tips and advice that you can give to people on best practices on how to gain like viewers or listeners or whoever just to get your product out there?
I'm really happy you're asking me this because I was thinking about finding some time to help some bands to get more reach. Because I think because of my 17 years of radio, I met a lot of bands for interviews. So I think most of my followers are from bands and maybe some listeners too. Then I noticed that on Instagram, for example, when I was posting some vinyl reviews or some new bands stuff, I put some hashtags, and then I could post a picture of a vinyl, and then I have like 13 new followers right away. Like, so it's a mix of posting often, being really passionate with what you do. Don't do fake things. This is the worst thing, in my opinion. Like, don't buy fake followers. Don't, but just, I think I'm a very social person. So I love to talk about punk rock all the time. So I'm genuinely happy to talk about that. So I think it can maybe attract some punk rockers who love to talk, because punk rockers love to talk about punk rock so much. You probably noticed talking about it. So yeah. I love also some old bands, so it brings some nostalgia to some people. They love to talk about it. So when they see posts about, I don't know, a new, a whole NoFX album, they're just like, oh my God. And then they check what I do and they see, okay, she loves punk rock. Follow.
She checks out. Yeah. She's legit.
I don't know. But yeah, it's a mix of people from bands. So it helped me. Like I know a lot of bands. So it's because I interviewed a lot of them, local, international. And since the last 2 years, I tried to discover smaller bands from all around the world. And I totally focused on this because it makes me so happy to just like dig into some new bands and reach them, talk with them. So I think it helps to get more followers. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's it. I never analyzed like a lot, but it might be something like that.
I mean, that's kind of how I found you, is that someone tagged me on your live stream on Facebook, and they were like, hey, Drea, she's playing Venomous Pink song right now. Yeah. So I go to it, and it's, her, and she's speaking French, and I'm like, who is this right now playing Venomous Pink?
Adorable soul playing Venomous Pinks, drinking coffee, right? Because you love coffee.
Yeah, but that's that's how I've found Emilie, and we've kind of just like corresponded back and forth through social media. I think that's a really big too. And so like little bit like small bands like the Venomous Pinks, we definitely appreciate what you're doing for the little guys like us. Yeah.
Well, it also it seems like you took your social work essence and background, and now you're doing the social work deed with the punk rockers.
That's so nice. This is the best thing I've heard for a long time. I never realized that.
Well, it's true. I mean, you're definitely, social work, people that do that work have a special soul they have, and you're doing that work, but only in something amazing like this, like punk rock. So I think it's definitely
always think it's important to help bands, because bands are like, because I used to work with families, and it makes so much sense what you just said, because I used to families, and bands are like families too. So we need to take care of the bands, And speaking of the Venomous Pinks, I remember it was a request from a rad woman called, her name is Jody, and she made a request for your song Pizza Slice. Is it
Yes.
Yeah.
discovered you. Yeah.
What a great song to discover by
Pizza Slice.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, so it's I love to take care of bands, and I love to balance the things I post about between smaller bands, because it's, for me, they are as talented, often more than bigger bands. But I love my nostalgic 90s punk rock, so I love to switch from both. And I think some people love either one or the other. And like what makes me the most happy, to be honest, is when I post a rePunkmmendation. A lot of puns. So when I post a smaller band, I write like rePunkmmendation. So nothing makes me more happy when someone writes me a DM and says, "I just discovered this band. Thank you for posting it." I'm like, yeah.
That's great.
Like, yeah, it makes me happy.
Was punk always your passion, or what were you listening to in high school?
Okay, I have a weird journey about punk rock. So I was into music really young. My grandmother used to make me sing all the time. Then I discovered some Quebec pop rock singers. I should send you some links.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Women like Julie Mars, Marie-Carmen, France d'Amour, very powerful women with a solo career, but like pop rock. So I was really into this music. Then I discovered the Backstreet Boys. Yeah, I was really into
I want it that way.
Well, tell me why.
Baby,
So I'll tell you what I want. Tell you what I want. What I really, really want was Backstreet Boys.
so tell me what you want. What you really, really want. Sorry.
Yeah. So I was into that pop music. Really into like dance. Did you know the Dance Mix '94 compilations back in the day?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was really into this, and at the end of high school, I discovered punk rock because I had some friends. It's really often like that. We have some friends listening to punk rock. They started a band and they invited me to sing the soft part of the Stand By Me cover by Pennywise. When the night, and then after that it's like, "So darling, darling, stand." So the singer would take the mic back and so they invited me to sing some punk rock song, but the soft part. So I was like, "Hey, someday I want to sing this punk rock part too." God damn it! So it started at the end of high school. So and there was some other boys in the courtyard playing Aki ball. You know what? It's like a little bag of sand.
Yeah, hacky sack.
Oh, hacky sack. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So, and they were having a little sound system, ghetto radio, and they were playing rock. And I asked one of them, "Can you burn me a CD?" Because I'm old, by the way. I'm 37, so it's like
Girl, I just turned 40. You're in right company. We speak the same language, so let's do this.
Every time I'm starting to talk about, every time I start to talk about burning CDs, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I should tell my age now," because my.
Let's talk about mixtapes, okay? With 8 tracks on the horizon with some vinyl. Yep, that's how we're living.
So I just asked him, "Can you burn me a CD with punk rock bands?" Because I only knew like Offspring, Blink-182, and I think I heard some Bad Religion. I was like, "Oh, it's different. It's similar but different." So he burned me some NoFX, News for Name, Bad Religion, Rancid, etc. So I just started like this. Then I went to college and I was back to pop music and clubbing. I was clubbing a lot. So I stopped listening to some punk rock for like a year or two. And then I had a philosophy class in college. It's so cliche what I'm going to say, but that's the true story. And I was reading the book Brave New World. Do you know that? It's a very nice novel. It's like a dystopia novel about a fake world where people only do their job and just don't think by themselves because they are taking soma pills. And I was like, oh, that's me when I go to nightclubs. I don't want to be like this forever. Let's get back to punk rock. So I got back to punk rock and never left again. Yeah.
That's so great. That's such a
great
really funny because I started the radio show at the beginning of my university studies, and I didn't know much about punk rock at this time. I knew like some songs of some bands, but I knew I liked it a lot. So I just started to burn CDs, bring it to the radio station, play this. People were calling me on the phone. Hey, do you know Randy? I was like, what's Randy? I don't know that. No, take notes. Burn CDs with Randy. Bring it back to the other week. It was so complicated without internet. And yeah.
This is a great example of fucking badass women. Like, just you don't have to know everything, but enough to start, and then that's how we got here. You know, that's fucking awesome.
Because if we are waiting until we know everything, I would never start, and I would be still waiting. So yeah.
So we like to start our episodes with roundtable topics, where we try to provide insights from our perspective as far as the music industry, or me as a photographer, writer, that sort of thing. So from your perspective, we always like to really promote community over competition. So of course, like, you have this wonderful platform, this podcast, and everyone tries to naturally group like, female podcasters that are in the punk rock industry together. But really for us, it's all about lifting one another up and celebrating our differences and our voice. So what kind of best practices, or where is your standpoint in regards to that whole notion of trying to have that positive supporting one another in building community?
Oh, I love this. I think it's so important, and you're right. And when I got a little more exposure on social media, I discovered you. I discovered like other podcasts like Mabel Syndrome, Girls Like Us. That's
great. That's so awesome.
That's awesome.
Girls Like Us. And there's a new podcast too, really cool, from Carolina. She's from the band CF98. She has a very new podcast called Band Age. She talks about how a band becomes successful, what's the secret. It's very interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of punk rock women having podcasts, and it's so important. I used to be alone in Quebec province hosting a show. I think it's just really recent since another woman is hosting also a punk rock show in the province here. And I was like, oh my God, like, we need more. So yeah, I think it's really important to lift. How did you say that? Because I don't want to
lift one another up.
Yeah, this expression. So,
yes.
So
I mean, emotionally and physically, I'm short, so sometimes that's good. Anyway, sorry, dad joke. I had to. It was right there, guys.
I got this one. Yeah. But yeah, it's important to share other people's work, talk about it, doing some episodes together. Yeah, it's so important. Like, women in every field, not only punk rock, but for me, I mean, I'm always into punk rock, so it's easier to find women with punk rock projects for sure. But yeah, what do you think? Because you do it a lot. You have a lot of women guests. I should have some. I am trying to get some on my new podcast. I tried to play some rePunkmmendation with women in bands, stuff like this. Yeah, we need.
There's a band called the Venomous Pinks. Just kidding. No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we definitely talked a lot about how it's just important for us to build that community. And you can't really build community when there's just one or two like you, right? And so we all have different voices, and we're stronger unified. So I mean, definitely you listed off some great platforms that, we fully support, like Mabel Syndrome, Girls. Can you do that for me? Girls Like Us. Can you do that for me again? Nice. And then She's a Punk. Is one, and then also Riot Squad Media. I also think that it's a matter, instead of looking at like, there's no copying. It's like inspiration, right? We inspire each other, and so everyone has their own voice. So it's very important.
Yeah. No copying at all, because man never says like, huh, he started playing guitar, he started a podcast, he's copying me. I don't think it's
that's
not an issue. So why would it be an issue for us? No, that's not true. I don't believe in this.
You are so right, sister.
It's about music, but I have a story I need to tell about that. Oh my god. Once I was playing a show with my band, because I have a cover band, punk rock cover acoustic band called 50 Shades of Punk Rock. We were playing with a very great woman artist, and after we played, she played. So I was like, watching her with like a big smile because she's so talented. And then a dude came to see me and said, she's great, she's really pretty, she's so talented. And I'm like, yeah. And he told me, are you jealous sometimes? I'm like, what the fuck? I got so mad. I was like, what's the point with telling me this? I'm just like watching an amazing woman playing a show. That's what I do. Yeah.
Wow. See, and that's what we were talking about before. Sometimes it's not even coming from the front lines. It's coming from outsiders trying to put us in a certain way of like females against one another. And that's so not 2021. I mean, that's so not how we're living life.
Are you jealous?
You should be jealous, maybe.
So what did you say? What did you tell him?
I said, I'm just admiring, watching an amazing woman doing a show because she's really talented and she's a friend. So it was like, that's it. I was super pissed. He was like, no, he was like, no, but you're super talented too. That's not that. And I said, no, I know. I didn't think he said that to diminish me. Diminish.
Yeah. Diminish. Yeah.
I didn't take it that way, but I was like, it's so in our brains, like we are raised thinking that women are competitioning together. It makes me sick. I'm sick of this, but I think it's way better than it used to be, for real. Yeah, way better from my perspective.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we kind of talked about earlier, is how just the punk rock community there is more like female representation than there was 15 years ago, when I started getting into punk rock and everything. Like back in the day, it was more girls can be mean, like, and they, and the internet, and it didn't, women did not think twice about, telling you, oh, your fucking band sucks, or you're a fucking cunt. Like how easily you can hide behind computer screen. But it's been really cool to see like the progression of how supportive we are and how many really great bands are with females. And do you feel like that's maybe similar in Canada? I'm not really familiar with how the punk scene is there. Like, would you say that was something similar?
Might have been, but my perspective is that I've been really lucky personally. I've never felt that kind of shit, almost not. But I know that some women in bands got into shit a lot. Yeah, I heard some stories about. And how long have you been playing together, the Venomous?
8 years.
And I'm curious to know, what evolution did you notice as a band? Because I'm in a duet with a man, but it's different, I think, than what you might have experienced. And I'm very curious about that.
Yeah, when we first started, we would get a lot of backhanded compliments or I would be carrying my equipment, and a man would ask me, "Oh, are you carrying that for your boyfriend?" I'm like, "Well, no, this is mine." Like,
Yeah.
I'm playing.
but I mean, I feel like we're not really faced a lot with that now.
Are you
And
compared with other women's bands, even if it's not the same genre and stuff like that?
We used to a lot. Like we used to back in the day, but I think I don't know, just literally in the last, let's say 3 years, it's like
Yeah,
I think more bands have come together because it only takes one band or one person to be positive and not she's a fucking cunt, bitch,
yeah. And you know what? We get Bikini Kill thrown a lot when describe our band, but I don't really think we sound like them. I think just maybe it's the attitude. Like,
can be totally fine sometimes, no problem.
Yeah, and I said this. We did an interview yesterday, and I said, Bikini Kill gets thrown out a lot to us. I don't really see it musically, but I think it's a really nice compliment to be compared to.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think as a podcast, we got it as well, like in the beginning too. And it's like, just because we like punk rock and we have vaginas doesn't mean we're all alike. I mean, I support them all and they're great, but we all have our own perspective. And I think that also kind of happened to me too, as a female photographer. Like I had at shows, a guy just thought I was in the pit, like being an assistant to some random guy that was my boyfriend. I'm like, actually, no, my husband is in the crowd because I got him into the show because of my photography status. Thanks.
You're just holding the camera for the cameraman.
That's kind of how it was. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, well, who does even have that? And it was so awkward. But I mean, I guess it's just to keep being better every single time. But it is interesting to see your evolution as a band, because I remember you talking about the early days, how it was such a thing, and now it's not. And I definitely think it's also generational too. I think that everyone's a lot more woke, everyone's a lot more accepting, and we also have to face the facts, especially someone like me that's in my 40s. We have a new crop coming in, and to be socially sound and accepting and loving is cool. And it is the way to be. And so grateful to see the other side of that.
Yeah. Well, even like 10 years ago, like that's how I met you, because you were nice and you weren't a bitch.
Yeah. And I took photos.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really, I was, like I fronted this pop punk band, and like I didn't know any other women bands because like they were all bitches or like they were cunts. And here comes Angela just being this nice person. I'm like, oh, you're not a bitch. Like, let's be friends. And then 10 years later,
here we are.
Quebec City, we have a very nice crowd of punk rock women. They are not necessarily musicians or podcasters, but there's a lot of women in shows. So we are a very nice punk rock girls crew here, and makes me so happy. Very great people. I miss them. I haven't seen them in more than a year. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? How is things like where you're at right now as far as COVID, and are you vaccinated? Is that something you're wanting to do? Like it's definitely different here, than it is. Describe us what it's like for our listeners.
Yeah. So I'm in Quebec City, Canada. We had some problems with vaccine provisional. Getting vaccines enough. So now people over 45 years old had their first shot, and we have to wait 4 months before the second shot here because we're having lack of vaccines. And
oh wow.
Yeah, science says that we can wait until 4 months so it can still be effective. So I didn't have my first shot yet. My parents had the first.
Oh, good.
We're happy. And it's really interesting because, it's not the perfect situation, but there's a nursing home who got some new cases of COVID after the first shot, but almost nobody died. And they had a very mild version of COVID.
Wow.
That's great.
works, but I still think it's disappointing. Because the US, the ex-president didn't care at all about the virus, but now you almost are vaccinated. But it's such a good thing, such a good thing. So my boyfriend is American and he's leaving soon, and he's gonna get his 2 vaccine shots before I have my first one when he come back.
Oh wow.
So we are still in Quebec City. We had a very bad increasing of cases recently. The ICUs are almost full, so we are on a total lockdown with our curfew from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. And everything is closed. Schools are closed, restaurant, bars, so we can go to do some groceries, and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing to cope then?
Drinking beer.
That beer looks awesome.
It looks yummy.
It's almost. I'm a very huge fan of IPAs. So this one is almost an IPA. I've been at first. I was really depressed and anxious for months, but then I just was tired of this. I bought a piano because I used to play piano for 5 years when I was a teenager. I think I was pretty good at the time. So I don't know why I stopped. So I was so anxious that I was trying to find a way to just focus in the present moment. So I was like, oh, what about a piano? So I bought a piano and it helped me a lot to cope. I started the Punk Roquette show, the new podcast. And I got a nice home studio with my boyfriend. So I could do my recording from home instead of going to the radio station. So that helped me a lot. And I started to read books again. But I'm still depressed sometimes, to be honest. Yeah.
That's understandable.
That's one of the things that we've tried to talk on the podcast too, is just being socially aware and letting our listeners know it's okay to not be okay. It's a weird time right now. I know, Angela, you've really just been transparent about your things that are going on.
Yeah. And I think the reason why it's so important to be out there, like we touched on earlier, is that if one person listens and they could be like, oh, I feel that too, it's totally worth it. And it just keeps that. We just have to be there for one another. We really do. We just have to show that strength. And I think that being strong doesn't always mean that you are admitting that you are weak at times or you feel not 100%. That actually shows strength by admitting that. And so the more and more we talk about that, the more and more we can all heal. And so I think for a while there, I was so quick to be understanding and comforting to everyone else, but I wasn't showing the same thing to myself. And so you have to do that for yourself, and you have to know that it's temporary, like your state, and that you can push forward. You have to understand that. And
on the Facebook Live every Sunday, I asked my listeners how they are, and people sometimes just broke up with someone, so I'm like, okay, she needs love, let's give her some love. I think it's a way to cope. So people are sometimes very depressed about everything, wherever they are on the planet. Sometimes it was in Europe, people were more stressed, sometimes it's here. It's so normal. I mean, people lost families member in this pandemic. People lost jobs, lost shows. I used to go to a show every week, very close to my place. There's a very nice venue, and all summer, even now, they used to do some virtual live shows with real bands going there, but I couldn't go because I can't. But I live so close. I was like, I'm so frustrated. But yeah, I think it's the secret is to talk about it when we don't feel good. It's totally fine. It's normal. Everything is shut down. So, I mean, it's hard, but at the same time, I think we need to maybe think about getting new skills, new hobbies, or getting our old hobbies back, the one we used to put aside because we said we had no time to do it, not enough time. So I think a mix of both. And if you want to take a nap for 4 hours, like I do really often, just do it.
That's true. We got to find some beauty in this. Like we got to come out, we got to create, and something beautiful has to come out of this sadness. We have to win, and those are the ways to win.
Yeah, and some bands just started to write a lot of songs. Some bands just stopped because they had no inspiration at all. It's just normal things.
Right.
Okay, because at the beginning of the pandemic, I heard people said that it's okay not to be productive, and it talked to me a lot. Like, because at first I was like, okay, let's work from home, let's do this and this and this, but that was in my head. I was like, I just can't. I'm just sad. I'm scared. I'm anxious about what can happen to my family, what can happen in the society, because people are really divided too. That's another thing. People are fighting. So yeah, okay.
I know you've been transparent about that too, Drea.
Oh, yeah. I just did not have like any motivation to pick up the guitar, after they shut down where we live in Phoenix. I went months without really picking it up. And that was something I did like every week, because we were constantly playing. Like I was playing it a lot. And then, but it goes back to just, I don't know, just kind of taking a break and not really understanding what this means now for my life. And that is my life. So like, that's the whole, like, what do I do with my life as a musician? Like, what do I do? So I throw myself into podcasts and start learning audio editing and stuff like that. That's learning a new tool.
Yeah, so, we keep our brain focused on something, but not too much.
Right. And it's okay to take a 4-hour nap. It's okay to not create, because you know what? When the time comes, you'll be nice and rested. Sometimes you need some rest, right? You got to listen to your body and know what's right or wrong,
As a Canadian, was it frustrating for you to watch Donald Trump and his actions and the whole last year? Like, I understand America was just a big dumpster fire for
It was hard because like I said, my boyfriend is American, so it's hard for him. And because of all this COVID things, the border was closed for months. So in 5 months, we've seen each other a week, because I could go in the US, but he couldn't come here for a long time before our government opened for unmarried couples. So it was hard. And but I mean, since Donald Trump was elected, I was pissed, but it was worse in the last year with everything that happened, all racism, sexism, like the fact that he divided people intentionally and never took the time to just calm people. You know what I mean? Plus my own situation with my boyfriend, we saw direct consequences of this. And but it now it's better. And just before the interview, we were watching the Biden's conference. I don't know how. With two women behind the vice president, and so we were like, oh, feels good, huh?
So great.
Yeah, it was hard. And I have so many friends in the US. I was like, oh, that's bad. Like, I don't.
What do they call the US from Canada? Like, we're like the crackhead neighbors.
Yeah.
Canada.
Didn't Terry call that thing? So?
Yeah. They're just watching us from the window.
I love Terry. And it's funny because it's true. But luckily it's a little different. Now we're in rehab, I feel. We're getting better. We're getting, that's how we're at right now.
We're survivors.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's talk a little bit about you being a musician. Let's talk about, what that looks like currently, and, with everything that's going on, and, how you got into that.
So my friend with whom I have a duet, Simon, he's a social worker too, but in ER. So it was risky to see him. So we saw each other maybe 3 times in the last year and a half or something. So it was really hard because we used to, like you said, play every week. We used to do a lot of shows and some just rehearsal. So we tried to do some cover songs in distance. We did like 2 or 3, was great, but it's not the same thing. We recently had the chance to do a virtual live stream. So we had a little road trip together in a very nice venue. We played for 2 hours on the live stream. And it was really, really fun, even if there wasn't any crowd, but we were together. It was so much fun. I tried to practice piano, and because I always thought I was only a singer, so I never took the time to really learn an instrument, and I never had confidence about it. Never. I still don't have a lot of confidence about me playing while singing, so I just try to practice this a lot more.
That's awesome.
Where I am, it's more fun. It's for me, playing music was only just for fun all the time, because I don't write songs. I only do covers. So just like, I just want to sing my favorite songs, but change it a little bit, make it acoustic. It's fun. I love vocal harmonies so much. I love doing vocal harmonies. I'm obsessed with it. Like sometimes I'm in the street and there's a car horns, and I will just do an harmony on it.
That's a good practice. Like,
I do that in microwaves and
that's great.
Yeah, I love to do that so much. I'm obsessed, but I don't write songs. So for now, just having fun. Do some.
I'm gonna have to try that, because I sing all day, every day, like just random stuff in the house. So I'm gonna have to do harmonies to that.
Elevators. And like. So.
I love it. You know, I love covers, man. As someone that just is in the crowd, everybody wants to hear a song that they know. And I'm sorry, sometimes covers are harder than writing songs, I feel. But I mean, because you have to figure out a way to change it up, make it different, but still pay homage to the original song itself. There's a lot of dynamics.
And acoustic.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for acoustic covers. So.
Yes.
Oh, but you do some covers too. The Joan.
Yes. Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Joan Jett cover?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk. I know we talked a little bit before. I asked you, do you believe in ghosts? And you were like, no, like not really. But you said you had like I think a story or something happened at work. Let's get into it.
Yes.
First, what is your definition of a ghost? I need to know that first.
Well, there's different ones, but I guess it's energy. Well, how we see it.
Is it like dead people deciding to see you, or just how do you see that?
Now she's asking the good question.
That's some deep. This is what happens.
Well, when
we get another podcaster on the show. They always end up interviewing us.
Well, there is like your ancestors trying to see you, and then there's the dead people that are stuck.
Right.
So,
but then there's that also theory that if you believe in past lives, that sometimes, your part of your energy or your soul, like, can come back and visit, but then you can still reincarnate, but there's like pieces of you that come and sees you.
And then there's Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
I'll tell you the story, and you because I don't believe in this, so you're going to tell me what could it be, because I never had an explanation. Okay, so
we don't know. We don't know.
Maybe once upon a time, I was 18 years old, a long time ago. And it was my first job. I was working in a nursing home at night. I don't know. It was a private nursing home. I know it sounds already scary.
Yes.
me and my best friend at the time, we were switching all the night shifts. So she was working 4 nights. I was working 3 nights. And it was a private nursing home with maybe 20 elders there. And when people needed help, they would ring a bell and we would get a page number and with the room number so we could go and help. And I don't know why they hired me, because I was 18. I was studying in human science in college. I wasn't even a nurse, but it was just that by the time they were sleeping, and in the morning I would make breakfast for them. So it was pretty basic. But if something happened, I wouldn't really be good for helping. Anyway. And for a moment, every night, the room 116 would ring all the fucking nights, all nights. Like 30 times I would get a page 116, 116, 116, and there was nobody in the room in the basement. And it would happen to my friend too, all night, every night. Like, it was so scary that at the end we were going to each other's shift without being paid, just to support each other. But I always thought it was a electric problem. But the boss said no, we cut the signal there. So
and it's 116. I'm trying to do numerology here.
116. All night, every night. So, but we both never thought it was ghosts, because for me it just makes no sense. But now that I'm a huge fan of space things and like the universe, maybe an explanation could be that there's another time space and we could travel between space between time zones, times.
Yeah.
And maybe I was warning myself to quit this job. I don't know, because it was like, did you see the movie Interstellar?
No.
Yes.
Oh, good. But when
I don't know.
when the man got into the black holes, he could play with time and see himself in different times. So maybe it was this.
Yeah, we were just talking about this earlier. I 100% am a believer that there's time travelers. I do believe in the Mandela effect. I do believe in certain things like that. So that is an interesting, thought process on something that we immediately would say, oh, that's a ghost. But,
but I don't think, because
it's a time blip,
If it's a ghost in the definition of someone who's dead and wants to give signs, for me, it needs to have an intention, and the intention is in the brain, but the brain is dead. So maybe I'm too rational. I know I don't have the, but So
I
don't
love it.
This definition of ghost, but I'm not sure I'm right. But the only surreal explanation for me would be the time travel thing. And
Doc Brown,
was it
totally with you?
Was it the all night, or was it once a night? It
was phases.
Okay.
But for some phases, it was like I remember one time it was like 20 times in a row at like 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
At 4 a.m.
Yeah, always at night, like from midnight to 5. So I was like, maybe it's someone who prank us, because it happened to my friend. But there wasn't any real phone number you can call and page 106. And
that would be a pretty boring life to be pranking someone, like calling that number over.
I would be sick of this at some point, but it kept doing it.
And it was like a pager, like the old school.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a black pager, and the person had a thing with a cord, and that person would pull it and it would page me.
Maybe it was a little mouse like pulling on it every night.
I mean, if you turn 116 upside down, it's 911. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty valid.
Like bad shivers right now.
Shivers. I got them too.
Damn. It's
Yeah.
911.
Dude, I just rocked her world twice.
Yeah, you did.
Go asking for help or someone paging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never helped.
No, watch, it was like a legit lie. They were like, help me. I mean, just think about it. It could be 911. It could be someone that passed in that room. I'm just saying.
Probably.
Saying.
I don't know. I still think it's a electrical problem.
That's okay. That's cool.
Fine.
That's fine.
Yeah,
we don't claim to know. We don't try to make everybody believers.
No.
We actually love talking to those that are more scientific and logical. Drea is one of those too. She has to talk me and Gabby off the ledge almost every time we go somewhere to sleep at night. So
I have to admit that it's a little weird that when we die, the brain is shut down and nothing stays. I can understand that it makes no sense though. Yeah. Science can't explain everything, but I don't know. I studied the brain in my university. So for me, when you die, it's like that. It's all our emotions, our intentions, our, I don't know, needs are all in the brain.
it's all there.
Yeah.
Man, that's some deep stuff, guys.
Well, I think that's a good call out. Is 116 is 911 backwards.
Yep.
So intense.
Yeah.
I text my friend about that, like right after.
Text her. You'd be like,
Text her 116.
A long time. So I was
just text her.
oh, you haven't talked to her in a long time. Just text her randomly.
116.
116.
just wait until like midnight to do it.
Yeah.
Well, it's I think it's like 11:30 there.
There you
No,
go.
that's-
No, 116.
Oh shit. You're like, what the shit? Oh, that's good. That's
late
good.
here. It's 10:30.
yeah, it's pretty late there. Yeah,
Oh,
30.
Just give me, like,
You read it.
What is she gonna say? What is she gonna say?
Oh, I'm excited. I don't know. I think she's shocked because she.
Everything's coming back.
Yes, sir. Like scared of her.
It's got the scared emoji.
She's like, oh shit. She remembers.
I mean, that's a fucking valid response.
Yeah.
Send her a voice text and asking her what she thinks it was.
Shit, you guys, that could be our code now.
Yeah.
We're just going to. Oh wait, we're saying this on a podcast where people listen. Damn it!
It's a live moment. Wait. Hey, mais toi, la chambre 116, au final, tu pensais que c'était quoi? Hein? Parce que j'étais en train de parler de ça avec des amis sur un podcast. Je leur conte l'histoire, puis on se demande vraiment c'était quoi. OK.
She just voice text.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It just reminds me of like waiting in line at Disneyland when you hear the other like other like languages. Gracias. Anyway.
You know, it's such a long time I haven't think about it.
I know. About Disneyland. So I have to ask you this question, and this may be kind of weird because we asked another guest who's had no idea how to answer this, so it's okay if you don't.
Call her out. Who did we ask?
Terry. Terry's so popular in this episode today. We love you, girl. We love you, Terry. You too, Laura. We love you, baby. Anyway.
No competition.
Right Squad Media.
Right Squad Media. Anyway, So I asked this question, and yeah, Terry had no idea because she's from Canada, and she's like, we don't really eat those here. But I ask every person this. So if you were a burrito, what kind of burrito would you be? Do you eat? Do you
No,
like?
I don't. Burrito was the only burrito I had was my dad's recipe, though.
Ooh.
With very spicy with a lot of cheese on top. But I'm not a fan. I don't know. It's not really popular here. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
No,
it's not
because
just you.
Terry said the same thing too. So, but I like that answer.
Yeah.
It was her dad's burrito.
Yeah.
A recipe. Okay, so let's change it up. Like, what's your favorite kind of like food or like poutine? Do you like poutine?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, right?
You're French. Do you like poutine?
I know, like, that's so terrible. And
You're from Canada.
I know that's so like I just
Wow.
grouping people
Well,
and
Terry
stereotyping.
did say
I'm
her
sorry.
favorite type of poutine.
Yeah, she did.
She did?
She
Yeah.
did.
She said like the cheese and all that stuff.
Yeah, and she
so.
said she would put in a burrito. So I don't know.
Then burrito, a burritine could be great.
There we go. You heard it first here, you
Burritine.
guys. Sound Sisters. Burritine.
A potrito. Potrito. Never mind.
Something like that. Do you have like
An hour ago, just before this podcast, I had a poutine with my boyfriend. He made it. He's now a Quebecois.
nice?
Plain. I love regular poutine with lots of sauce, lots of gravy. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite like local spot that's like
It's
independently owned?
Yeah, it's called Ashton. We have a lot of those restaurants in Quebec City. There is one like 2 blocks away. Yeah. But we love to make our own here too. Fun.
Nice.
I love the curds. They are really unique in Quebec. Yeah. I love this. Poutine is great. It's such a great food for any reason. You're tired, you eat a poutine. You're back from traveling, you have a poutine. You're hangover, you have a poutine. Yeah. Sad, you're in a
You just received a text that says 116. You eat a poutine.
She said that the company who was working for the electrical stuff came and never knew what happened. Oh, she said, oh my God. She said, once my brother was with me, we arrived in the kitchen and all the things were open. How do you call it?
Cupboards.
Cabinets. All the cabinets were open. Whew. And she said, I don't believe in ghosts. I think there's another explanation, but it's mysterious.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. That's
So that's my ghost story. Yeah.
911
And poutine.
and poutine.
Oh, I wish. Man, I'll never forget
It's fun.
your expression when I said that.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, is there any bands we should be listening to right now that are new?
Hmm.
She's so cute. She's so cute. I love her. I can't. When this pandemic's over, we're gonna hug the crap out of you. We're just gonna come to Quebec and eat some poutine. That'll be great.
Here in my studio, I have a big mattress. I have like a couch.
There you go. That's where we're staying.
Tour spot, guys.
New bands. Oh, there's a band in Montreal called Thick Glasses. They're singing in French. They are amazing. It's like punk rock with a little electro synth, a little like more hardcore sound. They're great. New band. What do you mean by new? Like very new? I need to make some research because I got a lot of new stuff sometimes, but I don't know.
Or just anything that like maybe that's under the radar. Some of your favorite like independent bands.
Yeah. Oh, independent. Okay. Yeah, sure. The new Krang album is Orgasmic. The band from Czech Republic. I'm just addicted to it.
They're rad. They're so good.
There's my friend in Quebec City called Ipshot. They are punk rock with grunge sound. Amazing band too. They're gonna release their EP very soon. I love my local scene. What else? I don't know. It's hard to answer right now because I listen.
I know we're on the spot. We're just like asking well,
I listen to like 50 bands every week.
no, like, well, where do you go to find these new bands? Like, where, there's, I find myself sometimes stuck in a rut, and of course Spotify gives you new stuff or your sound sisters do, but sometimes you want something out of the mix. Like, how do you mix it up and listen to so many different new bands?
I'm very lucky because of the podcast and the radio show. A lot of bands send me emails like, listen to this. They send me links, bio. I'm like, yeah, everything is there. So I discover a lot of bands like this. What I love to do when I'm stressed, I either watch a Universe Planet documentary or I scroll the punk rock hashtag on Instagram.
Nice.
Then I discover a lot of bands. A lot. It's crazy.
Nice.
It's really amazing.
I gotta ask you, what's bigger collection, your vinyls or your T-shirt game? Because that's on point. Like I don't think I saw you like wear a shirt twice or a record. I was like, damn, that's awesome.
I have way more shirts than vinyl. But I prefer my shirt collection. It's vinyl is amazing. It's like the best way for me to listen to some music and discover the great sound, the lyrics, because I love to read a big sheet of lyrics. Yeah. I love to make an effort to listen to vinyl. You have to get off the couch and turn the vinyl, and you have to listen to the album in the order. Don't be lazy. Don't skip a song. You have to respect the band, how they chose the order. But the shirts are like just all my memories because I'm new to vinyl collection. I've been collecting them since like 2.5 years, but shirts like since I'm 17. So I have I think now I probably have like 250 shirts.
Wow. Nice. That's a lot of hangers.
Oh my God, I should show you what I do in my shirts. I have a big drawer with my current rotation of shirts, and I have a big container full of shirts and 2 bags full of shirts. And sometimes I just throw it all on the floor and choose like, okay, in the next 3 months, I wish I could wear this because I can't have but sometimes I really want to wear that shirt and I'm like, so I have to dig in bags. 2 nice collections. I don't think I'm a very materialistic woman, but for this, yeah, I am.
Fair enough.
I had a pretty big shirt collection, but like they don't really fit me anymore. Like when I was 17, 18, but
you still have it?
I do, but I've sold a bunch of them on Mercari, whatever it is, but they're literally just sitting in the tub. I can't sell them. Like, like you said, it's your youth.
I think that's one of the like greatest things about, going to a punk rock show is getting the T-shirt and wearing it and like, yeah, I went to this show. Like, fuck yeah, and like buying that shirt and supporting your favorite band or a new band that you saw at the show. I mean, that's definitely like one of the things I miss about life before COVID is going to the show and collecting the shirts.
What was your last show before COVID?
Our last show, we played the Bernie Sanders rally in March.
Wow.
But not a pink. What was the last show I went to? Like punk show.
We start to lose memories for real.
Yeah. Like
we played out of town and then I don't know.
for me, the last show I was at Yucca, and it was on Valentine's Day, and Creep still was playing because I was photographing it. It was the pinup pinball. I was working it. So that was fun. But the first show the last one I went to, I think it was on tour with you guys when we did that short run in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of a break there. And it makes me so mad because, I mean, like all of us, it took it for granted. Like, oh, I'll get the next one. Oh, I'll get the next one. You know. Hindsight, right?
What was the last show you went to?
The last show was a Quebec duet called Les Sœurs Boulay. It's two sisters. They are playing like folk music. They are so good. They are doing great harmonies because I love harmonies. But before that, I went to a Silverstein show. They were playing an entire album. It was Discover When Broken is Easily Fixed, I think. What was this album? See, I'm losing memories too. But they were playing the whole album with, after that, a bunch of like great songs. It was really fun. I remember the first show that I was really pissed being canceled was Strung Out with Dead by Stereo.
Fuck.
we all took a moment on that one.
Very nice festival after that. Oh, and the worst thing that happened to me that is not dramatic, but it sucks happening is that I was supposed to see the Descendants for the first time of my life. And never happened.
That sucks.
They're going to reschedule. I need to see this band live.
Yes.
God.
Yeah.
I just want to feed you soup right now. I'm sorry. I love the Descendants. No, that's so sad. So bad. Soup? Yeah, because it's very comforting. It's very comforting when you're sad. But I fully believe it'll be just that much better when you get to see him live. Because it's
if you were a soup, what kind of soup would you be?
I would be wild rice chicken soup. Yes.
I'd be Mexican chicken soup.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about you, Drea?
French onion with the cheese.
The cheese and the bread.
I just had some broccoli cheddar soup.
Oh, yeah.
What about you? What kind of soup would you be?
I love lentil tomatoes. Tomatoes, lentils together for a soup. It's so good. I love this. I love chicken noodles, like traditional. Super.
Me too.
Do you think you will make the trip and come to Punk Rock Bowling this year?
It's weird because I've never been there because a week before it's the Puzza Fest in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like 3 days and 3 nights of a huge festival with lots of shows. So I think after that, I never thought going to another big fest with traveling because I love shows, but I'm extroverted, but also I need to recharge pretty quick. So 2 very big events in a week, it's a little too much. But I really need to go there for sure.
I heard Pusa is not happening this year.
No, it won't.
Yeah, so you can come down to Punk Rock Bowling.
I wish, but the situation here,
right? Yeah,
I don't know because when we are traveling for non-essential topic matter, we have to do an hotel quarantine and we have to pay for it. So it's kind of complicated, but yeah, I thought about it. Seems so much fun.
Girl, it is essential. It's in the name of punk rock.
What's the lineup this year? I just didn't watch because it just hurt.
Yeah, no, for sure. Aww.
It's pretty good.
It's okay.
It's all right. It's okay.
Yeah, it's good.
You can tell me.
Well, hopefully, I mean, we were supposed to play Puza, so hopefully that happens at some point. And we get to meet you and we'll
eat poutine
and listen to punk rock.
I know some very nice poutine place in Montreal, like Frites alors, and you can custom it. And there's a place in Quebec City called the Poutinerie. You can put anything you want on it. Like, it's crazy. They also have vegan poutine. They have like all kind of meat poutine. It's like everything you want. They have it.
Nice. Noted.
You know that Pizza Fest is for poutine and pizza together.
I
Put it
mean,
together and it's a pizza.
it's just made for you guys.
Yeah, we were really looking forward to that because it'd be my first time in Canada, so and poutine.
It's all about it.
No, you absolutely need to play here too and hang out. I'll help you.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna crash on you in your studio
Yeah.
in the futon.
Alicia is gonna bug you all night. My cat.
Yay! Your cat is
Kitty.
really cute. I definitely saw adorable pictures on your social medias. I was like, that is a cute cat.
I don't have kids, so all my maternal instinct is on my cats because I really love animals too. Mm.
We feel that and we represent that. We do.
You have kids, by the way? I don't know.
No, I have 2 fur dogs, rescue, pugs, pug mix, and a purebred pug. And Gabby's got
2 dogs, 1 kitty.
kitty.
I have a Great Dane and a boxer.
A what?
A Great Dane and a boxer.
Oh, a boxer.
So-
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
Do you have any kids or just the kitty? Just the kitty. That's
No, I don't have kids. I love kids. I don't know. I never wanted kids because I don't think it's my path in life. But I really love kids, so it's weird. But I'm super happy with my choice. But
It's not weird at all. It really isn't.
the myth that people without kids hate kids, that's not true. But like I really love, and sometimes I'm like, I know I'm missing something great, but it's still my choice. I'm still happy with it. But sometimes I know that it's so beautiful to have kids, but it's just not my way.
I love that. I mean, I think that so many people it's the societal pressure, of course, like to have kids or to get married, even though those are things that call to me, I don't like it when people just automatically assume like, oh, that's your path. And like you said, oh, you must hate kids. And it's like, no, like it's not for me. And I think that's beautiful,
Mhm.
You live it. You live your best kitty mom life. I love it.
Yeah, and I try to all the band that I try to help are like my baby bands because now I'm getting old and like the bands are still young, so I'm like, yeah,
It's awesome.
fun.
Yeah. Hey, real quick for the listeners, go ahead and plug where they can find you on social media.
You can find my Facebook page on the name Punk Roquette. Roquette is spelled ROQUETTE, so Punk Roquette. It's called Podcast and Music, and Punk Roquette on Instagram. And I really hate TikTok, so I'm not on it. I tried, but I just...
You should do it because I think you would blow up on it.
Yeah, you would.
Yes.
Do it.
I tried the reels. It was pretty fun, but I don't know. TikTok, I know I have to try. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try to do one. I have an account, so you can find me there too. Send me emails with for some band submissions. I love this. punkroquette@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight and talking to us. You were great. I can't wait to meet you.
I hope my
And-
English wasn't so bad.
Oh no, you were perfect. It was so great.
Good job for everything. For the podcast is amazing. The music, photography. It's really fun to see all your projects. Powerful women.
Thank
Aw.
you.
Thank you.
That means so much. We're stronger together.
We are sound sisters.
Oh, and I sent you the pop rock singer. You absolutely need to watch this.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Remember to head over to the website soundsistersaz.com to read up on our guest and view pictures and videos mentioned in this episode. Go to Facebook and like us, Instagram to follow us at SoundSistersAZ. Check out our kooky sister podcast called Grave Sisters, located under the Sound Sisters platform on all streaming platforms. Check out older episodes on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and Google Play, and leave us a review. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We have new t-shirts on our merch shop over on the website, so go get one. Once again, thank you everybody who still supports the Sound Sister podcast. It really does mean everything to us. You know, on that note, this is your host, Drea Doll, signing off with my lovely ladies, reminding you to keep your eyes on the prize, always do your best, and wash your hands. Thank you. Good night. Bye!